As one of the industry's biggest publishers, EA has long been a household name. But recent events have left the company reeling, with plummeting sales, falling stock prices, and questions about its future. Could this be the beginning of the end for the gaming giant? Stick around as we break it all down and explore what this could mean for the industry at large. At the center of this turmoil is Dragon Age: The Veilguard, a game that was supposed to carry the torch for one of the most beloved RPG franchises in gaming history. Instead, it faltered spectacularly, failing to meet even half of its sales expectations. The game's troubled development process, a lack of innovation, and unresolved technical issues combined to create a title that felt far removed from the grandeur fans had come to expect. The Veilguard promised to be a bold new chapter in the franchise, with an expanded focus on dynamic storylines and a deeper dive into the lore of Thedas. However, those ambitious plans never fully materialized, leaving players with an experience that felt hollow and unfinished. What went wrong? And what does this failure signify for EA's future? Today, we're unpacking the Dragon Age debacle, EA's financial fallout, and what it all means for gamers. Welcome back to What's Up Nerd Insider, your ultimate hub for everything gaming, anime, movies, and all the nerdy goodness in between. But before we jump in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our daily updates. The Dragon Age franchise has been a cornerstone of RPG gaming for over a decade. Titles like Origins and Inquisition were hailed as masterpieces, blending immersive storytelling with innovative gameplay. Fans eagerly awaited Dragon Age: The Veilguard, expecting it to continue the legacy. Unfortunately, the reality was far from the hype. Released to lackluster reviews, The Veilguard struggled to find its audience. Critics and players alike cited several issues that plagued the game from day one. Chief among them was its repetitive gameplay mechanics. Fans who had come to expect fresh and innovative experiences were left underwhelmed by the lack of creativity. The game also suffered from poor optimization, with numerous bugs and performance issues tarnishing its launch. Perhaps most disappointing was its uninspired storytelling, a sharp contrast to the gripping narratives of its predecessors. The character arcs felt shallow, and the choices presented to players lacked the depth and consequence that once defined the series. The numbers spoke for themselves. EA had projected The Veilguard to be a blockbuster hit, but the game failed to meet even half of its expected sales. For EA, which relies heavily on its big-ticket releases to drive revenue, this was nothing short of a catastrophe. Moreover, the fan backlash was intense, with many calling for the company to reconsider its approach to game development. This disconnect between what players wanted and what EA delivered highlighted a growing rift between the publisher and its community. The repercussions of the Veilguard's failure were immediate and severe. On January 23rd, EA's financial reports laid bare the extent of the damage. EA's stock value plummeted by a staggering 20% in a single day, erasing $6 billion from its market capitalization. Investors, rattled by the dismal performance, scrambled to offload their shares, further accelerating the decline. Revenue projections for the next quarter were slashed dramatically, signaling broader challenges on the horizon. This sudden drop was a wake-up call for the company, which had long relied on a steady stream of profits from its most popular franchises. For context, EA stock was valued at $425 on January 22nd. By the following day, it had dropped to $340, a nosedive that wiped out months of gains. This decline was all the more shocking given that just a month prior, in December, EA's shares had peaked at an impressive $506. The sudden fall from grace sent shockwaves through the gaming and financial communities alike. It wasn't just the immediate losses that concerned analysts. It was the broader implications for EA's ability to sustain its business model. While major publishers often weather setbacks, the scale of the Veilguard's underperformance raised deeper questions about EA's strategic direction. Could the company recover from such a blow, or was this indicative of a larger systemic problem? Shareholders were left grappling with uncertainty, and the gaming community was left wondering how EA would respond to such a high-profile failure. While the Veilguard may have been the tipping point, EA's troubles have been brewing for years. To understand how the company reached this low point, we need to examine the systemic issues that have plagued its operations. One of the most consistent criticisms leveled at EA has been its aggressive monetization strategies. From FIFA Ultimate Team to Battlefront 2, EA has become synonymous with microtransactions. While profitable in the short term, this strategy has alienated a significant portion of its player base who feel nickel and dimed at every turn. This approach, while lucrative initially, has created a long-standing perception that EA prioritizes profits over player satisfaction. The controversy surrounding loot boxes, in particular, sparked a global debate about their ethics, with some countries even introducing legislation to restrict their use. Coupled with this is EA's tendency to recycle content, particularly in its annualized sports franchises. Games like FIFA and Madden have been criticized for offering little more than roster updates and minor tweaks, all while charging full price. This lack of innovation has led to growing discontent among fans who expect meaningful upgrades and fresh experiences with each release. The perception that EA is coasting on its legacy rather than pushing boundaries has only further tarnished its reputation. In recent years, EA has also struggled to launch successful new intellectual properties. Titles like Immortals of Aveum and Anthem were hyped as groundbreaking projects, but ultimately failed to deliver. These high-profile flops not only eroded EA's credibility, but also drained its financial resources, further exacerbating its challenges. Meanwhile, longtime fans of franchises like Need for Speed and Dead Space have lamented the neglect of these beloved series. Although Dead Space recently received a remake, it's clear that EA has prioritized short-term gains over nurturing its legacy franchises. The broader gaming industry has also undergone significant changes. Players are increasingly drawn to innovative indie games and live service titles that emphasize community and engagement. EA's reliance on formulaic game designs has left it struggling to keep pace with these evolving expectations. While competitors have embraced experimentation and collaboration, EA has often appeared stuck in its ways, clinging to outdated models of game development and marketing. If EA's current trajectory feels familiar, it's because we've seen it before. Ubisoft, once a dominant force in gaming, has spent the last 5 years struggling to recover from a similar decline. Both companies have relied heavily on formulaic game designs and have failed to adapt to evolving player expectations. Ubisoft's struggles serve as a cautionary tale for EA. If the company doesn't course correct soon, it could find itself in a similar downward spiral. The parallels are striking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Ubisoft's experience underscores the dangers of complacency and the importance of staying attuned to player needs. The big question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? EA still holds the rights to some of the most iconic franchises in gaming history. The failure of the Veilguard has left the Dragon Age franchise at a crossroads, and it remains unclear if it can recover its former glory. With a new installment of Mass Effect in development, the pressure is on EA to prove it can still deliver compelling RPG experiences. At the same time, EA must grapple with the future of its flagship sports series and the once mighty Battlefield, which has struggled to stay relevant. While EA's struggles may seem like a cautionary tale, they also present an opportunity for the gaming industry to evolve. If EA can learn from its mistakes and focus on creating quality experiences rather than chasing profits, it could stage a comeback. On the flip side, continued failure could open the door for other publishers to rise and fill the void. What do you think? Can EA turn things around, or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for one of gaming's biggest players? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned to Waz Up Nerd Insider for all the latest updates. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, game on.